Friends, have you ever looked at Gal Gadot and said, what she needs to be is less hot? Have you ever looked at stand-up comedian Sarah Silverman and said, what she needs to be is jailbait? Well, then I have found the perfect movie for you. Ralph Breaks the Internet, the sequel to Wreck-It Ralph. I didn't see Wreck-It Ralph because I'm a grown man and I go to the movies alone, so that would be weird. So here we have Wreck-It Ralph 2. I have not seen Wreck-It Ralph 1, but Ralph Breaks the Internet is apparently a movie about Vanellope's game needs a part. They go to the internet to go find the part, and hilarity ensues. Of course, again, this movie is sad in that if you know anything about video games, you know that arcades replace games all the time, and you're going, well, if this movie's true, what happens to all those games? Is this arcade magic and special and somehow different than all that? So there's that, and then there's the basic point that, is that really how the internet works? Can you be a program and jump into the internet and yourself as a program make money? Because I don't think you can do that either. So yeah, to be honest, I saw this, it's a kids movie, I saw this in a theater with kids. The kids were more laughing during the second half than the first half. It's not the greatest movie in the world, and it's not the worst movie in the world. It's really middle of the ground. It's about as good as The Grinch, I'd say. I don't like The Color Scheme as much as I like The Grinch, and The Grinch is very much a Christmas movie, so if I had to direct you to one of them, I think I'd direct you to The Grinch, but it's one of those things, like, what are the stakes in a movie for kids nowadays when you know the characters are basically immortal? And if you're a video game fan, and the kind of video game fan who would get the references in this particular video game, you'd be out there going, yeah, but that character's just being a pain in the neck. If you create video game characters that feel and are alive, then what are we really doing when we control them? It's weird and sad and it's so somewhat bizarre. Wreck-It Ralph apparently is Toy Story only with video game characters. And Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, is something similar to Toy Story, only with video game characters. And I saw the first Toy Story, and I think that's as far as I got. These are not my kind of movies. I'm more into science fiction and stuff blowing up, and that's my thing. I was really, really stoked for Overlord, and that's just a terrible B-movie, but that's the point. So again, if you're looking for a movie that's going to recreate your Toy Story experience, but minus, 400, yeah, I guess this is that movie. It even has Toy Story elements, and, kudos to the makers here for putting a somewhat diverse cast in there, despite the fact that the main characters are still a bunch of white people. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with people who have my skin tone being all the main characters, but we are still all the main characters in this film. I'm just saying there, couldn't we spice things up a little more than they did? It feels so done. But you had a cameo from Buzz Lightyear, and you had the Disney princesses finally get to save a big strong man. That's kind of in there. And yeah, there are things that Disney should have done a long, long time ago. And there are concepts of, okay, let's be female and empowered and comfortable. And there's a cat. And that's a good thing. There is a lot of good messages in this movie, which are be self-empowered, accept change, and don't rely on other people for your happiness. But there are also a lot of bad things in this movie, like materialism, stupidity, jumping in without knowing what you're doing, and so on and so forth. So this movie is one movie where I am not happy that I saw it. I'm not saying, gee, I want my 2 hours back, but I'm saying, if I had the choice between seeing that movie again, I would definitely say no, I don't want to see it again. It's just one of those things. This is not my kind of movie. But that's just my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. I am Richard Leland Neal.